Hey guys, what's up? It's Nick with the Hungry Handgunner. I'm back, and it's only been, I guess, about a week since I did my last video, if not less. And last time I was telling you how cold it was, and I had to eat my words. It's like high 60s, low 70s now, so yay for bipolar Georgia weather. Got another gun that I've done a written review on, but no video. Today we have the Ruger GP100, 4.2 inch, 7-shot 357 Magnum. Cylinders loaded. I'll go ahead and dump those out. So, like I said, I've done a written review on this gun. I have not done a video review. So we're just gonna take a look at it, and I'll tell you what I like about it, a couple things I don't like, and just shoot it and have some fun. So for the most of the shooting today, I'll be doing 38 special. I do have some 357 Magnum that we will shoot out of it. We'll just have a good time. Alright guys, so we're at about, I don't know, maybe 15 yards, 12 yards, something like that. We're just shooting some Remington UMC 130 grain metal case. It's full metal jacket, 38 special. So we'll shoot a little bit here and have a good time. Now, for comparison's sake, got a little speed loader here, 125 grain 357 Magnums. These are Hornadys, so they are a little bit hotter loading. They do make 7-round speed loaders, HKS speed loaders. I think they're made for the Smith & Wesson 686 Plus. They have been working great in this GP100, so those are options if you need a speed loader. These are going to be a little bit hotter. A lot hotter. So one of the neat things about a 357 revolver is the ability to shoot the 38 special. So 38 special is obviously a cheaper round, a little more underpowered, but you get similar, well, it can vary a lot depending on the manufacturer and the loading, bullet weight, and everything else, but you'll get very similar groupings, I've found, if you stick to, you know, the Hornady 38 special, Hornady 357. I've noticed there's very similar groupings, so the sights don't have to be adjusted back and forth. Your mileage may vary on that. It's just a lot of fun to shoot these things. I'm going to shoot a little bit more, and then we'll go up close and look at it. Double action trigger on this, it's not bad. It did take some breaking in to get it a little bit smoother, but it's been great. Let's try some headshots on the silhouette there. Lost count that time. All right, we'll do 7 more, and then we'll get up close and talk about it. So. Revolver's clear. Alright, I really did have the best of intentions of taking a closer look at the gun. I'm just having so much fun shooting it, so we're gonna shoot a little bit more from a little bit different camera angle. I've got some more 357 loaded in it, and another speed loader at 357, and then I'll go back to the 38s. I like shooting this gun. There's just something about a revolver. It's just a lot of fun to me. So, got my speed loader, and we'll shoot a little bit more. These are the 110 grain Winchester white box. They're a little bit lighter bullet weight, but they're still loaded fairly hot. Bad anticipation there, guys. Now the whole internet gets to see it. Alright, we'll use that speed loader again. I really haven't played with these enough to know the right or wrong way to use one as far as putting the rounds in, but it seems to work okay. These are some more of the 110 grain white box. We'll do the last 2 double action. Alright, load up some 38s. Used to be that the 357 Magnum with 125 grain jacketed hollow points was the gold standard for self-defense. Law enforcement used it a lot. Actually used 38s and then went to the 357s. They've got a great track record, and I won't say they've fallen by the wayside. They're still a very popular carry option, maybe in a smaller platform than this gun, but I mean, they're not as common as semi-autos for self-defense, but there's still a lot of them out there on gun store shelves. The ammo is still very readily available, both 38 and 357 Magnum. Sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent. Let's shoot some more. Anyways, so reloading a revolver is a little bit more slow than just slapping a new magazine in, but there's something to be said for having 7 different chambers, if you will, which we'll get into more when we dive down close. For some people that think that this is hard to shoot, we'll do one-handed. Granted, these are 38s. Alright, let's get down close and look at it. Alright, here she is, boys and girls. up close. See there, they're all empty. So I started to say, you know, some things I like about it, and there are a couple things I don't like about it. So we'll go ahead and get the negatives out of the way real fast. For starters, you can see there the gap between the cylinders, or between the chambers in the cylinder, is pretty narrow. So what you can run into very easily, I'll just pick up a couple cases here just to show you. What you can run into is you have your rounds in there. Granted, those are fired. You can see there's not a whole lot of margin for error between the case heads, or the rims on the cases. So I've noticed with some manufacturers that they will overlap and they won't all fit in there, so you end up downloading your cylinder to 6 rounds instead of 7. Hasn't been super common. It did happen to me with some Steelcase Tula 38 special that I had purchased online for a really good deal. Since I've been sticking with more mainstream manufacturers like Remington, Winchester, Hornady, I haven't had that issue. Federal's another one that worked out well for me. But I did read online some other guys had that problem. So that's the biggest thing. The only other thing I don't like about the gun is that it's just too darn heavy for me to carry. It's a heavy gun, guys. I want to say it's 40 ounces. So this is kind of the mid-size, if you will. It is a 4.2 inch barrel. I want to say that the reason they went with the 4.2 inch is because in Canada they can't have guns less than 4.2 inches. So Ruger wanted to make it accessible on the market to Canadian buyers as well. If you're familiar at all with Ruger revolvers, this one isn't really going to look very different to you. There's your cylinder release. It's got a very respectable double action trigger. There's 2 clicks when you're pulling it back. Let me see here. There's the first one and the second one, and then it's very easy to go there. I don't feel the clicks that much, but it is kind of a easy reference point for me when I'm firing double action. I am not a revolver guy. Actually, when I told my wife that this one was on my dream gun list, she was a little bit confused because it wasn't Plastic Fantastic or anything like that. It was a revolver, or as my 3-year-old says, a cowboy gun. But they're just good guns to keep around. You know, the versatility of being able to have different things in your cylinder as needed. You could run snake shot if you're in snake country, or it's just, you've got a lot of flexibility there. I personally wouldn't recommend running 38s and 357s in the same cylinder loadout. The recoil, I can't imagine being able to shoot accurately going back and forth between the two in the same cylinder, but you can do it. So the flexibility is nice. Now Ruger says these are built strong enough to handle a steady diet of full power 357 Magnum loads. Rugers are known for being strong revolvers. Some people say that they're stronger than Smith & Wessons because they're heavier. That's not necessarily the case. They use a different casting and forging technique, which results in a heavier gun. You know, either one is going to be a good option. I just prefer Ruger mainly for the looks. So you've got some branding here on the barrel: Ruger GP100 357 Magnum 7-shot. Got your serial number, your Ruger logo there. If we go to the other side, you have your read instruction manual, Ruger, Newport, New Hampshire, USA. I really wish they would have moved this down here to the underlug or something. I don't know. I don't like that on there, but I'm sure they have their reasons. You've got some nice serrations here on top of the hammer. I have had no issues grasping this hammer. It's very easy to get a hold of. The single action trigger, as I was doing that, it reminded me, is very, very, I love it. It's very light. You can see the triggers right there. This I want to say it's about 3 pounds. I can't remember the exact number. It's in the written review. But they're very nice triggers. You've got a fully adjustable rear sight for elevation and windage, and then your front sight is actually a fiber optic, which is a nice touch. You know, A gun this size, with this weight, I don't know that I would want to use it as a defensive firearm, as like a concealed carry piece. Obviously, if this is what you got and this is what you got to use, then it is more than capable of that purpose. But for outdoor shooting, that nice fiber optic sight lights up nice when the sun is out and hitting it. So we're kind of in the shade right now. I'm not sure how well that's going to show up in the camera, but if I get it out there just a little bit, there it goes. It glows pretty nice out there. So you've got rubber and wood panels. Very nice looking grips, very comfortable grips. There's really nothing I've done to this aftermarket and nothing I plan to do to it. So that's it for the close-up. We'll go up top and talk some more. Alright guys, this has been fun for me. I haven't had this gun out to shoot in a little while, and it really is a lot of fun to shoot. One of the really cool things about a decent quality revolver is that nice single action trigger pull, and it really makes shooting a lot of fun. This gun is certainly capable of outperforming me, and I would argue most shooters, on a very consistent basis. So the gun like this, it's inevitable somebody's going to ask, what would you use it for? Just go ahead and show you guys it is clear. I don't know if you, yeah. But what would you use it for? I live in Georgia. The biggest four-legged predator I'm liable to encounter, even living out in the middle of nowhere, is going to be a black bear. And those will, 99% of the time, they're going to stay far away from you. They're going to run off if you make noise. If you found yourself between a mom and her cubs, yeah, I'd probably have a little different outcome. But shooting a bear is going to be the least likely outcome, at least with black bears. And like I said, most of the time you keep yourself out of that situation, just like most self-defense situations. But anyway, you could use this to run off a black bear if you had a combination of a heavy projectile. A 357 Magnum would do it. There's guys here that handgun hunt, that take bears and white-tailed deer every year with them. So it's certainly capable as an outdoor gun. I know a lot of people advocate them as bedside guns or nightstand guns, whatever you want to call them. And I can see the appeal for that. Although I shudder to think about discharging a 357 Magnum inside. I guess any gun inside, for that matter, would probably suck pretty bad and be the least of your worries in a home defense situation. It is not my go-to for that. Actually, it's not really my go-to for anything. It's a fun gun to shoot. I like having a gun chambered in 357 and 38 since the ammo is fairly common. And I remember back when we were having ammo shortages and it was hard to find 9mm, 45, things like that. I seem to always find some variety of 357 Magnum or 38 on the shelves. So if my options are don't shoot because I can't find ammo and I didn't have any stocked up, which is not likely to happen, go run out and buy a box of 38s, 357 and still shoot. The other thing is, it's a revolver. There's no magazine springs are going to wear out if you leave it loaded, which I know the debate still rages on about that with traditional semi-autos. It's just fun is why I have it. Your reasons may differ. There are guys that absolutely would concealed carry this or carry it outside the waistband. I actually have a outside the waistband holster for it. For me, it doesn't really fit any particular niche. It's just a good gun to keep around, fun gun to shoot, and there really are a lot of options with the 38 Special and 357 Magnums as far as different loadings and bullet weights and powder charges, and if you're a reloader, the options are endless on what you can do with the cartridge. So would I recommend going and buying one? It depends on what your needs are for a handgun. These Rugers are priced fairly affordable for the quality of the gun that you get. You know, the Smith & Wesson 686 Plus. I went back and forth between these two for a long time, and ultimately the deciding factor for me was my dad had always bought Rugers, and I liked the way the Ruger looked more. So if you're on the fence between the two, and you're watching this video to help you decide, I'm not going to tell you either way is the wrong way to go. They're great guns. So as always, the link to the written review is going to be in the description for the video. Please click subscribe if you haven't so far, and follow us on Facebook. And hopefully this weather holds out. a lot more fun shooting videos in this than the cold. So stay safe. For you guys up north where it's colder, stay safe on the ice and snow and stuff. We don't get a whole lot of that, but you guys have a good winter. Christmas is around the corner, so if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you don't, whatever you celebrate, Happy Holidays. Have a good one. Take care.